Hello, hello, hello. To my best Jamie impersonation. This is Ray Hayes and Jamie White bringing you one of our podcasts. Please follow us. Well, before we start the podcast, but please follow us on Twitter at GDN Network. Please like our Facebook page, Supplierty News, and please visit our website to learn more about we're the news source for small business and diversity. Website is www.suppliertynews.com. Today I'm unlike usual. Jamie usually leads the podcast off. We're gonna try something different. I'm gonna lead it off. Jamie, like to say hello to the people.
Hey, how's everybody doing? Yeah, good job.
We don't get the hello.
Not this time. That's for you. That's for you. Whoever starts off has to do the hello. There you go.
All right, cool. But today, everybody, what does it bring to you? Talk about for the big fuss nowadays of fake news.
Huge
President
fuss.
Trump, other members of his administration have been using the term fake news an awful lot. Actually, President Trump says in the last 36 years, he'll be the first president not to attend the corresponding dinner. And that's a dinner where all the news outlets and the White House come together just for a big dinner and a conversation, everybody mingling, talking, and all that stuff. But he said that he will not be attending, and he's also went on Twitter calling news sites like CNN, New York Times, and some other news organizations, fake news sites. So me and Jamie, we just wanted to come in today to talk about what is fake news. Jamie, would you care to start it off with a brief introduction and just talking about your definition of what fake news is?
Wow. So I think my definition of fake news. First off, good job, introducing everything. Really good job. But for me, I think my definition of fake news is different from like a Donald Trump's definition of fake news, because my definition of fake news is when you're telling the people, so your viewership or readership, false narratives of a situation that is false or wrong, or absent of facts, and you make people believe that these untruths are the reality of the situation. But it seems that it seems like President Trump is essentially saying anybody who goes against him, whether the news being reported is true, which most of it is, or false, which some of the information reported against him has been false, but most of it's been true. And he's still counting that as fake news, and I don't think that that's right. Fake news isn't any news that is negative against you. I don't think that's true. But
I agree with you too. Like just looking the actual definition of, let's just take for example Wikipedia. Wikipedia defines fake news as a type of hoax or deliberate spread of misinformation. We all can agree on that it, like you said, it's misinformation. So my question is, it's not really a question. My statement is the fact that it's kind of ironic that Donald Trump brings up the idea, President Donald Trump talks about fake news so much when he was the main person who got publicity and it got to start in the political arena by pushing fake news. The fact that he pushed the fact that President Obama was not a U.S. citizen.
Right, true. Yeah.
He pushed the fact he wanted his actual birth certificate, and he kept pushing this out there. It actually got him his start in politics, because it was misinformation. I mean, he was a U.S. citizen, point blank period. But President Trump, he kept pushing it. So it's kind of ironic that he's labeled CNN and all these other sources, news sources, fake news when that's where he got his start from. I mean, wouldn't you agree, Jayden?
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with that. I think that's so. When it comes to Trump, I mean, when it comes to President Trump, I was actually having this conversation with my dad the other day, or not the other day, yesterday, how we all pretty much knew what we were getting when we elected President Trump. The thought was people always said he was going to change, right? And like you said, and as this relates to fake news, people thought that he would get away from pushing these you know narratives that just simply weren't true, and that he would kind of act more presidential and get off of Twitter and you know treat people with respect who disagree with him from time to time. And what we found is that President Trump has stayed the exact same way he has when he was running a campaign. It's almost like he's still running a campaign. Like when it comes,
You can't teach an old dog new tricks. Not referring to him as a dog. I'm just using that phrase. You
yeah,
can't teach an old dog new tricks.
yeah, no, I completely agree on that. Like it's strange what's going on. Like even him saying, like CNN and New York Times, and which he's probably done more to make. I'm starting to think he's an investor in New York Times because he's probably given them more publicity in the last month than they've ever had in the past 10 years. But
Definitely.
but but in all seriousness, like he's it's not fake news. It's weird. Like people who disagree with you aren't fake or aren't lying, and yet for whatever reason he's just
Yeah.
continuing to push that narrative, which it's weird for a president to do that.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's a matter of it being free press. Free press and you being able to voice your First Amendment right. I mean, you can say how you feel. And there's no way of stopping CNN or New York Times from voicing their opinions and their concerns.
Yeah, no,
So, like you said, I mean, it's kind of, go ahead.
no. Let's make it clear here. Like it's what CNN is doing, for the most part, and I can't say 100% of the time, but for the most things that they talk about, what they do is they take the fact of a situation and then they twist it to the liberal point of view, right? And Fox News does the
All
same
right,
thing.
okay.
They take the fact and then they twist it to the conservative point of view. This is normal.
All right.
Whenever people consume, news, you're not getting the balanced, straightforward news like that. It just doesn't happen. Um,
All right.
so it's almost like President Trump is now saying you can't twist it liberal. You can only twist it
No,
conservative, and when you twist it conservative, it has to be positive towards Trump conservative. It can't even be negative towards Trump. Like this is it's
he's
just
only
weird.
giving only credible news sources, like you said. I mean, and only credible, but only two news sources who are going to get opportunities to interview Trump as of now are Fox News and Breitbart, which are two very conservative
Yeah,
news outlets. So,
yeah,
I
exactly.
mean, like you said, you're pushing the fact that everything's conservative and liberalism is fake, and it shouldn't. We shouldn't tolerate. You shouldn't tolerate any liberalism
Yeah, I think
or any liberals.
yeah. What just makes this so like just crazy is just so Obama did this as well to a certain extent. I mean, he didn't call anybody fake news or like the enemy of America. Like, he didn't go that far. He
Mm,
did try to discredit Fox News to a certain extent. And obviously, whenever he gave interviews, he would lean towards liberal news outlets. Makes sense. All presidents do that. But what Donald Trump is doing,
right,
and when Obama did that, the right criticized him, and rightfully so. But what
right,
we're seeing is Donald Trump is doing the exact same thing, but he's doing it times like 100. And everybody who criticized Obama, not everybody, but a lot of people who criticize Obama for doing that same thing are now praising Trump for fighting the media. And it's like come on. Like what is this? Like, this isn't fake
Yeah,
news.
like,
This is
come on, let's be serious.
yeah, exactly. Like this, if somebody doesn't agree with you, it doesn't mean that it's fake news. And Trump continues to create these narratives, like when he first got elected, and then we saw a rise in bullying, in particular as it pertains to like minority groups, specifically like Hispanics. Um, like now we're in a new piece where it's called fake news. Where now, and you could go online and just see this where people are, posting on CNN and the New York Times. Like, I mean, hell, CNN could say something as simple as today is February 26th, and it's a nice
Yeah,
day outside.
that's not real.
Yeah, exactly. Yep,
That's not real.
that's the liberal agenda.
That's not real.
Pushing the fake news against it, like
We all know it's February 29th.
yeah, exactly. February 30th. There you go. Like just something like but that's where we're at right now.
What if you actually saw something like that, though? Jay? Like,
You
like,
do
what if you
though.
actually saw something like that? Like,
You do. I mean, it's
huh?
you do that's a scary part. Like, go to especially when it comes to liberal media. Like, just look at the comment. I've had conversations with literally. It's funny enough. Okay, remember the Sweden comment that Donald Trump made. Are you familiar with that?
Yes, yes.
Yep. So Donald Trump, for those who don't know, Donald Trump gave that speech about European countries letting in uh, refugees and how refugees are causing mass havoc when it comes to
Right.
the countries. Which there's some truth to that, but it's a misleading truth in terms of Sweden having more issues when it comes to refugees. I mean, no matter what country you are, if you let in a bunch of people, put them in one area, and then they're all poor, things are going to happen that are negative. I mean, that has nothing to do with Sweden, has nothing to do with refugees. That is just a basic human fact, like fact of life. But anyway, so they were talking. So when Trump said that, obviously Sweden kind of blew up, and said, you know, uh, that's not happening. This is incorrect. So during that time, I actually had a conversation with somebody who was a Trump supporter, and
Mm-hmm.
he was like, Trump. The reason why Trump said that is because he was talking about this 2010 incident that happened in Sweden, and like he was really pushing this. Like he was just like, and he was making people aware of this. And I'm like, that's not true. That's not what he was doing. He's like, yeah, he's talking about that 2010 and making everybody understand that this is what's going on with Sweden. This is what's been going on with Sweden in the past, and it's possibly could continue. And then literally that day, Trump comes out with a tweet that says he was talking about something else that he had heard on Fox
Yeah.
News.
Fox News,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So I go back to that person. I'm saying, but I thought you just said Trump was like pushing that piece when in fact he was pushing another piece. And he was like, well, he was trying to do both. It's like, come on, guys. Like,
Let's just stop.
yeah. Like, how many different ways are you gonna defend a person before you have to sit down and say this guy, some of the stuff that he's doing is wrong. Like,
Yeah.
or he's just
Yeah.
yeah. Like it's like I'm having conversation. Like I mean, as you know, I'm conservative. With conservative friends and whatnot, conservative contact, and it's just amazing how like every day is like a different defense
Mm.
for things that should
About these.
that if Obama or if a liberal did it would be indefensible. Like, but that's fake news. If you bring that up, fake news
And
is
what if the
any.
doors?
What'd you
Go
say?
ahead.
What were you about to say?
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
it seems like fake news. Like I said, fake news is any news that doesn't agree with Donald Trump. And if that's the case, then we are slowly falling into a dictatorship.
I mean, a lot of people from Russia are saying that that's how dictatorship begins. I'm not saying that we're really heading that way, but that's how it begins, where
Yeah.
you start to question
Yep. Discredit everything that goes against it.
credibility of news sources.
Yep.
You fight the media against media giving you false information. So we're here to provide you the accurate and the necessary information. Please follow us instead of them. They're not telling you the truth.
Yep. And what makes it even crazier is that people are believing it, especially on the right.
That's what like baffles me though, Jamie. It's
Yeah, I
kind of
mean,
like,
yeah,
how can you really believe this stuff? Like
I
your example you
don't.
just brought up. How can you believe it? Like
Yeah,
how?
I,
How is that physically possible?
I don't like. Again, like I've spoken with enough Trump supporters to know that like I've never seen that type of support for a candidate in my life. Like I've never seen the
It's
type of
almost like a cult,
yeah,
like a cult follow.
almost yeah, very, very like Trump supporters are a different breed. I've never experienced that. Like
Like a Mac Miller fan. No offense to Mac Miller, but it's kind of like
that's came
Mac
out of
Miller. I
nowhere.
mean,
That came
he
out of
got
nowhere.
a big following of people. Like you never
Damn.
really hear about him. I'm just saying, just like he has a big following, like crazy following
I mean,
of people,
well, he does have a
like
song
a cult
called Donald
following.
Trump, so maybe that maybe that has something to do with it.
You say what?
I say he does have a song called Donald Trump. So
Oh, but he's talking about him like in a negative way.
no, he's not. This is before he ran for president, so this is back when everybody was like, "I want to be rich like Donald Trump."
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
my bad.
yeah, but no. Nope. But
I'm telling fake news, man. My bad.
yeah, that's fake news.
Yeah. No, it's
Stop it,
not.
man. Come on.
Psych
but,
your mind.
but but yeah, but yeah, like this fake
No.
news, it's 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 unfortunately creating something that I've personally never seen in America, and that is a group of people that are supporting like everything this man does. Like I can remember having conversations with people who have supported any other candidate who at some point they can admit to certain type of wrongs. Whoa, hello?
Right. No, can you hear me?
Yeah. Sorry.
That better? Sorry
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah. But like yeah, when it comes to other candidates, at some point they could admit that like their candidate was wrong in some areas. Like Trump, these Trump supporters, they just can't take a loss because Donald Trump can't take a loss. Like if your
Yeah,
leader
you're
can't
refusing to take a loss.
yeah, if your leader can't admit, hey, I was wrong, I'm wrong in these areas. Like even Obama was like, hey, Obamacare like was wrong in these certain areas, but it's doing well overall. That's fine.
Right.
Like Trump can't, he just can't admit when he's wrong, and we'll see what happens with this. As he continues his presidency, because it's getting better in some areas. I mean, it really is, but it's getting worse, like way worse in a lot of other areas, and this is just
Yeah, definitely. I
yeah.
agree with that wholeheartedly. Like with him not attending the correspondence dinner, like what other events will he be skipping out of? And him not allowing CNN and Politico into the White House briefings anymore.
Well, I mean, so
It's
that was one. So let's be. It was a gag. It was a gag or whatever. It was an off the record event. They will be in attendance to regular news briefings, which are daily or whatnot with Sean Spicer. So that's they will be in attendance. This was just more so. It's more of an official, unofficial event that they weren't invited to when it comes to politics, and they allowed for they released basically what happened at that event, so everybody had access to it. So
are you sure about this?
yes, I'm 100% sure about that.
I don't know
Now,
about that, man.
yeah, no, I'm 100% sure about that. Now, why the issue was raised the way that it was because this has never happened before, even at a official, unofficial event. Everybody was
But that's
always
the thing
invited.
with more. Will it come up to a point in time where it's happening on a daily basis,
I doubt it
where like
because, and again, we have to be fair and balanced, even at Supplierty News. The Obama administration tried to block access to Fox News, and what happened was CNN and other organizations rallied around them. They were like, "If you ban Fox News, you got to ban all of us." So Fox News is able to continue, having access to different political event or different events. The reason why that's different than the Trump administration is because although the Obama administration tried, what they did was they let everybody know, hey, we're gonna ban Fox News, and everybody was like, no, you can't, and they were like, all right, fine, they let Fox News in. What the Trump administration did is because what we're seeing is that the Trump administration is really last minute when it comes to different things like this, and they try to like do it, which it's a good thing because he's used to dealing with business. So when he wants something done, he wants it done now. So what happened was people didn't find out CNN was banned until they showed up to the event. And CNN and Political, they tried to get in, and then they were like, no, you can't get in. So because of that, the different news organizations weren't able to coordinate and say, hey, if you ban CNN, you got to ban all of us. Because from what I've known, from what I've read or whatever, like I think Fox News was already in the event, and then CNN came later, and then they got banned. So Fox News wasn't aware that CNN got banned. But since that's happened, they've all kind of rallied around and said, if you ban them again, then there's going to be consequences from all of us.
One for all.
Yeah. So they're all on the same page now. But because it happened at the event, that's why that was kind of unprecedented, because that's just never happened before. But yeah, it's actually pretty interesting to see their solidarity. To see Fox News and CNN's solidarity when you know that they really don't like each other like that. But when you attack journalists, they actually kind of come together. Yeah,
you all got. Like you said, when you attack journalists, you got to stick up for one another, because at the end of the day, I could be attacked next.
Yep, as they're saying, as CNN is saying. So.
At the end of the day, it's still a brotherhood. Even though you may not like your brother at certain periods of times, we still brothers. We still got the same job. We still reporting on some of the same things. So if I'm blocked, probably in the future, you may be possibly blocked too if they disagree with what you're saying.
Yep. So, and that's really what you were saying. So, and I would say, not everyone, but if you are a liberal and you're like, Fox News sucks or whatever, and I would never listen to Fox News, I would say watch some segments, especially the ones like not Hannity. Do not watch Hannity. Do not watch Hannity. But every other one that's like later in the evening or whatever, definitely check them out, and I think you'll be pleasantly surprised, because they're not hopping on the Trump bandwagon as much as you think, outside of Hannity. I was watching them the other day, and they literally did a roundtable about how bad the immigration ban was. They've done roundtables about the injustices of banning CNN and Politico from that gaggle. So I mean, they're more balanced right now than you think they would be. Not everybody on Fox, but a lot of them actually
some
are.
people.
Yeah. A lot of them actually are, which is it's interesting to watch.
Yeah.
So.
Well, with that being said, Jamie, I'm gonna wrap it up. Definitely want to say thank you all for listening to the podcast. If you have any comments or would just like to give us some suggestions, please leave it on our social media sites or leave it under the podcast post. But once again, thank you all. This is Ray Hayes and Jamie White checking out. Please visit us at suppliertynews.com for our weekly articles. And hope you all have a good evening.